Good evening, everyone. You are tuning in to Wave Station Live, bringing Sentosa Island to your homes. Tonight, it's a special one because we are diving deep at the Southern Islands. If it's been a long day and you're feeling tired from work, we have a relaxing soundscape for you. So lay back, and here we go.
What you've just heard is a snippet from our podcast, Wave Station, following experts on Sentosa. Hi, my name is Simin.
And I'm Cheryl.
And we are from ArtWave, a social enterprise that encourages the learning of nature, life, and personal stories through the act of listening and paying attention.
All for a higher quality of life.
So a few months ago, we were presented with a challenge.
Our sunny island.
Sentosa,
Home to exciting events, themed attractions, award-winning spas, lush rainforest, and golden sandy beaches, is in danger.
a large number of uninformed visitors negatively impact the environment when they come into contact with wildlife and marine life.
There is a need for balance between education and preservation.
And our solution is Wave Station.
Using immersive audio storytelling, Wave Station inspires personal responsibility in a way that is accessible, relaxing, and entertaining.
You will find a podcast series and receive real-time updates of Sentosa through live broadcasts.
To top it off, you can also download a playlist featuring soundscapes from Sentosa.
And here's who we're targeting, the sweet spot of eco-conscious youth and podcast lovers.
How do we come to this conclusion, Simin?
Our research shows that interest in learning about sustainability is high, at 95%. However, almost 2/3 of the respondents do not see it as a priority or do not know how to engage in these efforts.
But you may ask, why podcasts? Firstly, podcasts expand time. We help our listeners learn even when they complete simple tasks at work, home, or during their commute.
Secondly, cost effectiveness. As compared to video, production costs are reduced by at least 50%.
And lastly, powerful narratives and atmospheric recordings, like you've just heard, engage people for substantial periods of time, allowing us to go in-depth into topics.
We see the podcast market continue to grow with over 400 million listeners worldwide. And in Asia alone, 1 in 2 youths think there is too much visual stimulation and audio offers a nice escape. In Singapore, the average podcast listenership has increased to 134% in the past year.
And based on our survey, 70% indicated interest in our podcast series, some of whom have been active listeners of ArtWave's programs, including our radio channel, on which we've collaborated with ocean conservation and wellness organizations.
Wave Station will be found on major streaming platforms with Telegram and Instagram as our main channels for outreach.
We will be activating Sentosa and Island Partners as our distribution channels, reaching more than 50,000 users.
This project will be implemented across 6 months, delivering 20 podcast episodes and up to 30 live broadcasts. And at the end of 6 months, we will see at least a quarter of our listeners develop an understanding of biodiversity that Sentosa has to offer.
This is your team that will make all this happen. We are experienced producers, engineers, and storytellers with more than 8 years of experience.
And over the last 3 years, our main revenue has been from services and commissions. Through Wave Station, we open up a new revenue stream through the monetization of content via royalties, IP licensing, and ads.
That's not all. With the success of Wave Station, we'll run a mobile radio station, hosting residencies with other experts and creatives, extending this model to other projects with different communities. We also look to increase our listenership through Asia Pacific and to tailor our programs for education in schools.
But to make Wave Station possible, we'll need the help of Sentosa to recommend experts, NYC to share our project with their pool of youths, and Audacity to host our mobile prototype of Wave Station.
And to all potential partners who want immersive audio experiences to communicate your message, let's collaborate. Together, we can inspire others to learn and appreciate the wildlife and richness of Sentosa and beyond.
Keeping our sunny island
Home to spotted wood owls, hawksbill turtles, nudibranchs, and api-api jambu.
safe.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. May we please now invite questions or comments from the judges?
So you can just clarify, your proposal is first focus on Sentosa's biodiversity.
Yes.
So that is
the
with
challenge.
the kickoff, right?
Yes.
After that, you will expand to other geographical areas or topics of interest. You say that?
Yes.
Okay. So since it's so focused on Sentosa, how has Sentosa been working with you? What is the level of interest?
Okay. So previously we mentioned a physical prototype as well for so they suggested a location where it can be placed. So it's near Fort Siloso on the south side, and they talked about actually wanting to broadcast on Main Island before in Singapore, on Main Island, Singapore. So this is, they said it was at that time when they had this idea, tech was not so sophisticated and it was expensive. So then we proposed this idea and they were interested, but we need more conversations with them to see how we can roll it out.
So it's still quite early stage discussion with Sentosa, is that right?
Yeah, they are aware of this idea, but it needs a wider discussion.
Okay. So your idea is produce a series of podcasts talking about biodiversity around Sentosa
With their experts.
with their experts.
Yes.
Okay, and of course to spread the message of protecting wildlife, ecosystem and things like that.
Yeah. So with their experts, we work with their experts to talk about what the experts cover in the different parts of Sentosa, and also how to interact with wildlife if we encounter them.
Okay. And I saw your stats about people listening to podcasts and all this, but have you thought of also going onto different platforms with, other social media channels where maybe can reach a different group or a larger group?
Yeah, we definitely, in our survey, we noticed that people really like exciting visuals as well. Because our focus mainly is audio storytelling, and also because we know that social media can be very overwhelming digitally, visually. So we do want to use social media, say specifically Instagram, to outreach using exciting visuals. However, our main form of content production would still be audio storytelling.
Yeah, because eventually we still want to bring people onto Sentosa.
All right. My question is, what are you trying to build, with your this platform? Are you trying to build a community following your podcast? All right. And then, are you, focusing on certain themes like what you mentioned, biodiversity or environmental sustainability team? And I think that will help you think about how you want to chart, right, your growth, and how you make your platform sustainable and grow, right? So maybe you could share more about your vision.
So instead of starting from scratch, we will be utilizing the existing platforms already. So Sentosa has their own social media platform, which we will also be leveraging on. And what we're providing is the audio content that is on top of their current content.
And I think in terms of our focus, because we're responding to Sentosa's challenge statement, so that is our first project that we want to trial out. But we definitely want to work with other communities as well, whether it's focusing on art, whether it's focusing on other points of avenue. But this is our first, I guess, foray in terms of the theme. Yeah.
So can I say that your core expertise will be, in the audio content production, right?
Yes.
And then you're open to various teams or working with other organizations like MPark and so on and so forth.
Definitely.
Yeah. So this will be the kickoff.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Time for about one last question.
Hi team. So I'm a big fan of the Calm app that we have on the iPhones, etc. Right. So a lot of what you have just played through, the soundscape seems very familiar. They have little episodes, they have lectures, meditative, etc. I guess it's not so much a question, but a comment about thinking after a Sentosa, what's next, and really developing an idea and a playbook around that. Because Sentosa, to me, I think you will run out of, I think, content really soon. It might be a little bit niche. So I'm just very interested to make sure that you guys are thinking of that at the back of your mind, how you're actually going to expand, build in that sustainability angle, the different soundscapes that you could hear, through the islands. Yeah, so something to keep in mind.
Yeah, definitely. So we also have done this thing called Reset with Creative Nourishment with a more, I guess, mental wellness angle. So we definitely are branching out into those fields as well. But this project specifically, we start off with Sentosa. But we do have plans in terms of other disciplines and other topics.
Thank you for that. I think mental wellness will be something good to actually be a second pillar to what you're thinking about.
Thank you.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for Q&A. Thank you very much.